I was asked to do a thing for a secondary school Leaving Cert class.
Right.
Give a talk to them.
Okay.
Now, the irony of that is fucking massive. If you'd have told any of my teachers when I was in school that one day I'd be contacted in order to give, they would have fucking laughed at you. But I started to think, what would I say to them?
Yeah.
What would I say? Like, what would I say to a class of Leaving Certs? I'm not an academic person.
No.
Do you know? So
If they weren't asking you for your academic skills. They were just asking you because you were famous.
But it's a strange choice, isn't it? To
What
ask.
do you say to them? Yeah, what?
Well, I went for a walk and I was thinking about it, and I was. This is what I'm going to say to them now. I was going to say, now you're all doing your Leaving Cert this year, and some of you are academic, and fair play to you. I hope you find a thrilling environment in which to stretch those fucking muscles for yourself. Some of you are not academic, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What I want from you in 10 years' time is not that you end up with a qualification I'm talking to when you're 18. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing in 10 years' time is to be able to meet people and have what? What do you think?
The crack.
No, well, sort of. Is to have stories.
Yeah.
That if you reach 28 years of age and you've no fucking stories, it kind of means you haven't really made the right decisions. And sometimes the right decisions can be the most irresponsible thing. So I'd be encouraging young fellas when they're 17 and 18 not to be responsible. To do the irresponsible thing. You know, so a fella might be 18 and be like, well, I'm going to study this and then I'm going to get a qualification in that, and then I'm going to I'll get a job, and then I'll get a car, and then please God I'll get a mortgage, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
And you meet him then 10 years later and, well, I'm fairly, everything is fairly, I mean, I'm dead on the inside, but I'm sticking to the plan. That's not what you want, is it?
No, but there will be people that will be like that.
And let them off. But
Yeah.
people also need to be encouraged to do, especially when you're 18.
But we're never encouraged to do that, Tommy.
Do the irresponsible thing.
We're never encouraged.
I probably think the teachers will edit out that bit of your video.
Do you know what I mean? Do the irresponsible thing. So if you say, well, okay, so for me, I remember once I had a decision to make between going to London and getting a job or going out to the fucking Aran Islands and living in a cottage with a mystery priest. One was responsible and one was irresponsible.
Yes.
And I did the irresponsible thing and I went to the island to live with the mystery priest. And
Yeah.
it was the best thing that I ever done.
Yeah.
Even though the
At the
responsible
time,
thing...
you didn't know it was the best thing
No,
you ever done.
at the time I thought this is a fucking daft thing to be doing.
Yeah.
Right, I really should go and get a job, but fuck it, no. I'll transfer me dole to the Kilronan post office and I'll see whatever fucking happens. And I just think that that's a good thing for fellas to hear. Do the irresponsible
I think
thing.
there's a need for a voice like that around
Yeah.
6, 17, 18-year-olds that you can try your best, lads, and there's going to be loads of twists and crossroads and turning left and turning right. Nobody goes on that straight road. We have to use that type of analogy. Like, it's not going to be easy for somebody doing the Leaving Cert.
If you were given a talk, Laurita, to young ones in Leaving Cert class, what would you say to them?
Well, like that, you see, the three of us might be coming from the same place in that we weren't academic. Well, I wasn't. Were you, Hector?
No, not particularly.
You weren't?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Well, you said you weren't. So I wasn't academic in that, like, I went through school because I had to, and it was ticking boxes. So I would have been sort of trotting along in third place, kind of back on. I would never have won the race.
Yes.
So
How many were in the race?
probably about 120.
Was Audrey up the front of class?
Audrey was ahead of me, but she wasn't up at the top either.
Saw a nice photo of her there during the week when you had the birthday.
Yeah, we had the
Oh,
birthday.
really?
Yeah. Audrey was looking well for her birthday.
Was she? How old is she?
She's the same age as me now, but for 6 months of the year we have the
Krypton
same.
factor.
For the same.
What is it? Cryptic fucking...
For 6 months of the year we're the same age.
For fuck's sake, is that Family Fortunes we're playing our catchphrase?
Yeah, well, there you go. So
She's in her 30s.
Yes, she is.
All right.
More to the late as opposed to the earlies. Let's just put
Embrace it. Embrace it.
So 38? No, she's not 38. I would have to say I would be all about enjoying the ride and having the crack and, don't take things too serious. And
Yeah.
I always felt I had this attitude when I was in school. Sure, what's for you won't pass you by. Sure, if it comes to your door
Good
and
or
you,
bad.
and you deal with it, great. And sure, it came to you for a reason, and sure, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure necessarily that was a great way to live my life, but it was grand. Like, I don't know. I wonder if you were to go back now, right? Being the age you are now, mid-50s.
Easy,
What
easy.
the fuck are
Early
you
50s.
on about?
Early
We
50s.
are just
Lads.
we're just at the gateway to 50. Will you,
Lads,
you need to take that bit out of the podcast.
We're painting a picture for the
You don't need to
tabloids. We're painting a picture for the tabloids when they have Tommy down as a mid-50.
Well, me and Hector now, we're in the new vaccination group, so we're very happy.
My favourite word, cohort. Christy cohort.
What would you say, like, if you were to go back now, revisit when you're 20, say? Would you have thought when you're 20 that you would be here, or would you have had greater aspirations in life in terms of having more structure?
That's the politicians. We're not answering this question. We're on something else now.
No, it's still the same thing. Like when you're going back to that age group.
20.
Yeah, or 18, 20. Would you have thought then that you'd be here now?
I think I would have been delighted and excited that I was able to make me living as a stand-up. I think I would have been just fucking... If you'd have told me then that would happen, that I could earn a living doing something that I found tremendously exciting, and that an art form in whom I had heroes, you know, so I would have looked up to people in stand-up before I came and if someone said to me, you can be one of them and earn your money just getting up on stage and talking and feeling the thrill of people laughing at what you're saying, I would have been delighted. Yeah, I would have half believed it and half not believed it.
And do you think, like, when you were going to school, did you think you were kind of different than everyone else in the class? Like, did you think that you weren't going to go down the traditional route of life that everyone else would have gone down?
Yeah, but the problem is when you feel like that in school, you feel like a failure.
Yeah, but did you?
So because you have to see yourself mirrored somewhere. Mm-hmm. So you know, if you're not interested in doing any schoolwork, you're not physically fit enough to compete with the big. I swear to fuck, Laurita, I was a phenomenal athlete in primary school, but secondary school, these fucking monkey men from the fucking outlying parishes of Meath.
Slain.
Fuck you! They were men when they were 12, 6'3", stinking of farm
17
and football.
stone.
They were just you couldn't compete.
You let that side of your life go.
You couldn't compete with them. These boys were born for a different destiny. You know, they're like orcs from fucking Lord of the Rings, and you're there, Frodo with little gold ring. You couldn't compete with them.
Did anyone you play football? Did anyone that you went to school with play football and win an All Ireland for Meath?
Yes, Colin Brady.
In your class?
Colin was class behind us.
He's in serious nick now. Have you seen him?
Oh, he's a fitness instructor.
Fitness fanatic.
No names.
But like the thing is, I've two teenage boys, 16 and 15, and what am I supposed to say to them about driving them to the books and study? And I find that I cannot really... You said something to me on the podcast months ago, Tommy, when you said, but I wasn't really pressurised when I failed in Trinity and when I went to live on the Aran Islands and when I went working for that Irish...
Freedom, you were given freedom.
I was given freedom and they never really questioned that.
Yes.
And that gave me that sense of adventure that I can do whatever I want and go wherever I want.
Yeah.
I moved to Galway when I was fucking 19 years of age and I didn't talk to my parents till I was 37. That's freedom for you.
Well, how are you doing? Where are you?
I got a phone call from my father. He said, you must be nearly 40.
Where are you now? I'm in Galway. Oh, for fuck's sake, you're there the last 18 years.
Yeah, how are you? Do you have any kids?
Do you have a job? What
do you do? Tom, I wouldn't recognise you if you walked in the front door of the house.
How long are you in Galway? I'm here about 19 years.
And then he says, how's the family? Oh, hang on a minute. I am your family.
So... how can I drive my young lads to the books? I
Good
don't
luck,
know.
then he said, and I didn't until I was 51.
I don't know. I can't drive my young lads to the book. I want them to. They'll have to find their feet, and they'll have to find that road. They'll have to find it's like.
But your wife is academic.
Yeah, but
so would your wife drive them?
Well, she would have more practicality regarding the studying and focusing yourself.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
What does your father do? He has a bath every Saturday at 7 o'clock and comes out in the shorts and he has to fucking tell everybody.
And what
he's
does he
had
do for a living? I don't know. He goes over in the world for 3
fucks
months.
off, yeah.
He goes off and then he does a podcast and he does other
What
stuff.
does he do for a living? He's not here anyway. That's what he does for a living.
But like, you could. There's no way you can.
But so your wife is an academic in the sense that she's a lecturer. She's a third level lecturer. So she is someone who thrives in an academic environment. So is she given one set of advice to the boys and you are there, come on up and have a bag?
Let's go out and use the Kango.
She would be more practical regarding, come on boys, let's get a bit of study done and put a bit of shape on that, and come on, yes, you're weak.
And do you stand beside her and go nod your head?
I just go, right, listen lads, come on, put in a bit of effort.
Mama's after saying, come on.
Yeah, come on boys, put in a bit of effort, and training's at 7 o'clock tonight, so we're leaving at 1:15.
And how are you in parent-teacher meetings?
I don't go to any of that stuff at all. I
Fuck off.
I stay fucking well away because I'd lose it. I'd
wouldn't
lose
do
the rag.
You would not, you'd know it.
The rag, I'd lose the rag.
Yeah.
Would you tell me?
I don't go to them. I do not fucking go because I have no interest in the teachers.
The teachers are the whole...
I just, as a fella said to me, teachers, they went to school for 14 years.
Yes.
Right? And what did they do when they fucking left?
Went back.
They're the type of fucking idiots you're dealing with. Do you know what I mean? They're like a fella who gets released from prison and he fucking walks out the door and then 3 seconds later, guess who's home?
Do you know the way in Ireland did it? Oh, she'd make a great teacher. Oh, she'd make a great teacher.
Nobody ever said that to me.
But look, we're coming from an area. I remember my mother.
I'd be looking at windows the parent-teacher meetings.
Oh, who's got the bank? Who's got teaching? And what was the other one? The bank, the teaching, and the priesthood. That was the one.
Or nursing. They
oh,
like
nursing.
the nurse.
Oh, nursing, yeah. But like, nah. Look at, Tommy, your original point of what you're going to say to those leaving certs. What would you say to them? Go on, give us a couple of sentences.
I would say don't get too stressed about it. Sure, you know, like you'll have to do your exams and sure, whatever, I don't know. I'd just say...
That's very inspiring.
Just
really
enjoy it.
Yeah,
just enjoy it.
That's
What would you say? Like, there's always going to be kids that are there thinking that you're a complete
I'd
jackass
say
because you're...
adventure. There's many, many roads out there with lots of signposts. Make sure you go left. Make sure you go right. Take the straight road. Take the back road. Take the high road. Take the third road. And I'll tell you one way, you'll always end up somewhere. Good luck, boys. Good night. God bless.